Good afternoon, everyone out there in our Cats Chat pod. Thank you so much for joining today's episode. So thankful for you guys to join in on this beautiful Wednesday. Of course, for you all listening on podcast, it will be possibly later in this week, and it won't be Wednesday, but it'll be later on. But with that, Mark, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right, man. Just pumped to be back for another week.
Sounds great. I am doing fabulous. I'll just say that. It's been an eventful day. Interesting. So, before we go any further on that, guys, we know why you all are here. It's not to see our pretty faces, which I know mine's pretty nice compared to Mark's. We've got a wonderful guest on with us today. And Mark, I will go ahead and let you introduce that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this young man is the starting inside linebacker for University of Kentucky Wildcats, Mr. Trevin Wallace.
Goodness.
Welcome into the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. And you said Trevin. It's Trevin.
Trevin. See, I said it wrong. My bad.
Caught you on that. You good, though?
You did. See, that's the one thing. I mess up names so much, it's not even funny. So Trevin Wallace. So my bad. I said it wrong.
You good.
I don't know.
I'm sure you've heard that a couple times, though, right?
Man, I heard Trevin, Trevon, Trevor, and my name don't even look like Trevor. So I don't be knowing, like, how they be getting messed up.
So, okay. Well, that's we had Coach Merrill on the show, and I said Morrow the first time. He didn't really call me out, but he let me know later on by saying, Coach Merrill and doing this. I'm like, oh, he said his name for me. I like how he did that. Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Wallace, thank you for joining the episode with us here. And congratulations on Week 1 SEC Player of the Week, by the way. How did that make you feel? Because, Kentucky getting a Defense Player of the Week, stand out, because a lot of people thought other players might be getting some of those awards, and you stepping right up into it and having 2 good weeks actually back to back.
So I can say I was very blessed to get that, the Week 1, because to my understanding, I didn't even know it. Like my mind forgot about they do SEC like Player of the Week. So like I didn't even know that, and then we was in a team meeting, and like Stoops was like because we give out like Player of the Games like for each game, and he was like, and like the SEC champion, SEC like Defensive of the Week, and he just looked at me, and I was like, so he talking about me. So I feel good, getting that. I feel like that was a big accomplishment for me, because I don't think I ever got that. So I feel like that was real good for me.
Oh yeah, it's just the first of many to come too, right?
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you what, that pressure you applied on EKU's quarterback, I went back and actually watched some of the highlights you posted on Instagram. Mm-hmm. You had a good game that game as well.
Yeah, like people, people look at that game and say I had a good game, but me personally, I could say that I was like not as good up to my standards I wanted to be, because I go back and watch film and I've seen stuff that I could have did better, or like stuff that I messed up on. So like to me, people like I'm grateful that people said it was a good game, but like to me though, like that game was like bad for me.
If you don't mind,
can you hold yourself accountable? I mean, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you kind of talk more about that if you don't mind? And of course, there's probably some stuff of X's and O's that you can't get into, but like, from us, couch potatoes of us, we here watch film, and even Stoops on, I think the show with Tom Leach, he was talking about the EKU game. It looked really bad, but back watching the film, there was bad, good, and it helped to go back and watch the film. But when you guys go back and watch it, how do you guys critique yourself? Do you all pound the negative parts or praise the positive parts? What goes into the mindset of watching the game film back?
So what goes into the mindset of watching the game, although like everybody wants self doing good, mm-hmm. but there's always that thing where like, okay, the stuff I did good, I'm going to keep doing that. But what are the stuff that I messed up on? Or what are stuff that I can execute better, to get in the right position? So that as a group, that's what we look at. We look at film, and like we don't even care about the good stuff no more. We want to look at the bad stuff, because that would make everybody good in football, like critiquing mm-hmm. the bad stuff instead of looking at the good stuff.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. Now I want to ask you this. Like, I know you played a lot of different positions in high school, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I like you were a running back, and I remember seeing some of your highlights as a running back. You were like a human hit stick, and then you just turn on the jets. You had one game, I think it was like 28 rushes for over 320 yards.
Oh, wow. Actually, it was 386.
386. I knew it was over 300. Yeah. I knew it was a big game, because I was actually talking to somebody today, and they said, man, you need to go watch this guy's huddle. Like he said, it was unbelievable. He said it looks like you would look at this and say this is the number one player coming in as a running back, and here you are playing middle linebacker or inside linebacker. So, what led you to move over to the defensive side?
So, like, what led me to move over to the defensive side was coming out of high school, I was getting recruited big to play defense. Some schools taught me about playing running back, but I was like, me personally, if you want to get on the playing time as a freshman as a linebacker, then running back. Yeah, because if you play running back, you got to learn the plays and all that. If you play inside linebacker, you can learn the plays, but like you have other people around you that can help you out. Because like if you see a running back and they go the wrong way, you like, oh, he messed up. But if you have a young guy inside linebacker and he mess up, you got 10 other guys that come correct that, and you're like, oh, he's doing good.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Like I even noticed, like I feel like your speed where you played running back really helps you at that inside linebacker position because you get to that quarterback quick when you do that, when you shoot the gap, man.
Yeah, some people look at me, like even people on the team, like when they look at me, I'm like, he ain't 240 running that fast. I'm like, hey dog, like I'm trying to tell people like I've been telling them like, I didn't know I was that fast. Like, bro, no, like we look at you, think you like slow, but they're like, when I see you run, they be like, dang. I was like, hey, I just got to just show y'all one time, y'all gonna just believe me when I say I'm fast.
People look at us and they know we're slow. So I mean,
and then they see us run, they're like, we're correct. So, but do you ever miss on the offensive side any talks that, hey, Stoops, maybe next year let me play a little offensive side just in like if we're short running back?
So it's crazy. Like today, me and Ray, the running back, we talked. I said, hey man, you need to talk to the coach and let me come and play running back, man, because I missed it. I missed it a little bit. I missed it just a little bit. I just want to come, talk about it one time. I want to see if I still got it. See if it still does. So like, I'll be like just throwing hints a little bit, like, hey man, like let me run the ball a little bit. So sometimes.
Just asking, like, put me on that depth chart, right?
Right. Just put me back there so people can look like, oh, he back that running back.
So you think it may happen?
Like your first defensive touchdown actually came against Florida, wasn't it?
Yes.
The blocked field goal, and you ran that back, and I think people really saw how fast you were in that game. That was the game-changing touchdown in that game at Florida.
And what's crazy, that game, I was like 225, so I didn't weigh as much. So I feel like me personally, I feel like from that game to now, I'm faster and I weigh more. So like that's good.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man. What do you think is your biggest highlight moment so far in your career? And it can be even high school.
My highlight moment, I got two. So obviously high school, my last game when I had the ball 28 times, I had 300-some yards. That was an achievement. That was the achievement. And then my second one was, getting 12 tackles my freshman year, Mississippi State. That was my first time ever recording double-digit tackles out of my whole football career, and that was like a blessing to me. Like I didn't even know that. People was like, "Hey, you got 12 tackles." I was like, "No, I don't." Like, why y'all telling me that? Like, even though my freshman year we had like came up short. I was like, bro, that's a big accomplishment because I never had double-digit tackles. Had never in my life had double-digit tackles or never thought like, oh, I'm going to get double tackles in the game. So that was my two biggest accomplishments right there.
And I think people that don't watch the sport don't understand how hard it is to get double-digit solo tackles in a football game.
Yeah.
Because they're going all over the field. So for you to actually get that chance, I mean, that means you've been ball hawking the entire game and you've just been on it.
Yeah. Because some people don't understand like some people like look at like, oh, getting 12 tackles, like, oh, that's just like, that's just a game. But like for people like that get 12 tackles, like any football player that's watching this, they're like, hey, that's a big accomplishment because anybody that get double-digit tackles on the field, like that's real hard. Like that's real hard.
Yep.
Do you think it's more being aggressive physically or more mentally?
I can say it do involve the D-line, a D-line a lot because they keep you clean. Like the D-line help you out with all that because if you have clean football with no offensive lineman coming to you, then it's free range. You can just run around make plays.
Do you think that
you get in that backfield, you wreak some havoc? I know that for sure.
Oh, yeah. Do you think spending more time? I'm trying to figure out. Do you spend more time in the film room trying to study some of this stuff that maybe gives you that little bit more edge of telegraphing plays or seeing anything?
Yeah, so my brother or my homeboy, De'Aaron Jackson, like we close, so we go on there and watch film. Like, cause he real smart. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm smart too, but he know the game like good because he played linebacker his whole life. So he tell me like, hey, like if so and so like they finna pull. So like he helped me a lot. So like it been plenty of times where, like in games, he like, hey, like just go shoot your shot because they finna do this and they do it. And I was like, hey, like you can't like that's somebody you need on your side that does stuff like that. So I'm grateful.
Never be the smartest person in the room. That's for sure.
So I'm grateful to have somebody like that beside me.
Awesome. I know we're over 10 minutes here. I know you're want to be respectful of your time here. You still got a couple more minutes. I'll just hit you with a few more questions.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, like, I teach high school and I try to talk to a lot of these high school kids. Like, I noticed that you did track all 4 years, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You feel like that helped you with your conditioning for football?
Yeah, it help you a whole bunch doing track. Like, but sometimes, like, I go out there and, like, run track, and then I be feeling good. Because track for us was in the spring, so we came into, like, spring ball. And when we did condition for football, like, you see all the football players that didn't run track, they was, like, gassed. And I'm sitting there like, well, I ran track and ran probably like did a 400, 200 or like did stuff like that. And it's like helped me where I'm at. And also with track, like I advise like people that play football if they want to get faster to run track as well, because I can say like I was never this fast, like never as fast as I thought I was gonna be. I was slow as dirt like when I came up. So like I can say track really helped me out to become as twitchy and fast as I wanted to be for football.
Right. Awesome. Well, listen, I know you've got time, but you need to be respectful. It's midday here, and you need to get back to campus to do studying, do what, I don't know, eat that probably college pizza that's everywhere. But before we let you go, let's hit you with some fast questions here. Answer them as fast as you can, and we'll let you go. We'll do just like 4 or 5 of this, and then
Okay.
50. All right. Favorite food?
Macaroni.
Macaroni. Okay,
nice.
That's all right. What I have to dig deeper when it comes to food. Is it just macaroni? Do you put like anything else with it?
So with macaroni, baked macaroni. So you put it in the oven and let it get brown. Let it get brown to the top. You good to go.
Okay. Yep. All right. So baked macaroni. I'm with you on there because I'm Kraft macaroni and cheese. But my wife, she likes putting broccoli in it and doing some other things. Like, no, that's not macaroni.
I think I'll go with baked the way he did it.
That ain't macaroni. Cool. I ain't never heard broccoli and macaroni before.
Yeah, that's nasty. All right. So favorite superhero?
Favorite superhero? Shoot, you hit me with this guy, Lee. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Okay, good. All right. If football wasn't an option, what other sport would you play?
I'll be a pro fisherman.
Fisherman.
Oh, hey, man after our own heart right there.
There we go. Bass fishing or what?
Bass.
There we go. What kind? Smallmouth you like?
Yes.
All right. Well, if you go wade fishing.
Largemouth bass.
Largemouth. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Life with some fish. I'm liking this guy so much.
Yeah.
All right. So
you gotta realize he grew up just down in Georgia. He came from a town just like we live in now, down where he's from. So he's used to doing the same kind of stuff we are.
All right. So I've got to ask some more questions about fishing now. Top water or are you plastic fishing?
Both. Like top water to me, I really don't got it down yet. But like but it's kind of hard top water. Because I know people that do top water fishing.
Okay. Once you get used to that top water bite, it's nice.
It is.
Yes, get you a whopper plopper. It's what it's called. All you do is reel it in, and it's got like repellers that just makes the noise for you.
And you're good to go.
Eat it up. Yeah, you don't even have to do any of the. I can't stand the popper. I've never caught a fish on a popper.
Can't ever do it right when you got to pop it. Yeah.
Oh, I don't have the patience where you're like, whoop, whoop. All right, no, just let me be real. That's why I'm ADHD. I need to do this. Okay. Let's see here. What's your craziest superstition?
Craziest superstition.
Or do you have a superstition before a game?
I can't. I really don't.
Don't? Okay, so there's nothing like food every time you play that you have to eat or tradition that you have to do?
Well, hold up. Take that back. Like when I get in, I listen to like slow R&B music.
Okay. Like what? Name one.
That's kind of like the opposite. So instead of listening to fast, pumped up, you like
to calm you down.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. See, I
So,
DJ on the side, so I know about that slow R&B.
Okay.
No.
So like the 90s R&B.
Okay, are you talking like Boys to Men here?
You got Boyz II Men, you got Jodeci, you got Silk, you got Cut Close, you got Key Sweat, you got SWV. I keep going on. You got 702. I keep going on. But,
yeah, he like, oh man, like you're one of my favorites already.
You're coming one of our favorites right here. Like 90s is when I grew up. You were definitely in 90s. Mark, you're way older than me.
Hey now.
Just about 6 years, but anyways. All right. Well, I think that's.
I got one more hot seat question.
What's up?
After football, what do you want to do?
Be a real estate agent.
Real estate.
Yes. All right. Sounds good.
See, I should have done that instead of teaching. I'd be all right now, right?
Yeah.
Or you want to get a bunch of those billboards and just everywhere with cowboy hat one, fishing, like trying to lure you into your next big home.
That's a good one though.
Yeah, that's pretty good, Michael.
Pretty good.
Maybe I could get into this.
Right.
Well, I believe we'll go ahead and call it. We're 16 minutes and we said 10. Sorry about that. That's
now you good. You good.
All right, man. Thank you again so much for joining on the show. Good luck to you.
A lot of fun. 3. Glad we got to talk to you, man.
Yeah, man. I enjoy being y'all guest, man. I enjoy being on here.
Good. Well, then come back sometime soon.
Yeah, I can.
All right, man. All right, appreciate it, man. Have you a good one.
You have a good one too.
God bless, buddy.
Oh, there we are. Sorry about that. Of course, as the episode is now over with that, we had to do a pre-recording with our guy, Wallace. How's he say this name, Mark?
Trevin
Wallace.
Trevin.
Oh, I said Trevor. I messed it up. I said Trevin Wallace. So, guys, sorry. Some of the comments, Matt, was kind of odd bringing those in there, but we wanted to bring those comments. Thank you so much. Trevor had to come in at 6 o'clock with us. We did a pre-recording with that. A lot of fun. Really cool guy. Really liked him talking with just the fishing aspect, real estate. Of course, that's wrapped up there, our conversation with him. A down-to-earth guy, the R&B that he talked about. It just kind of let us get to know him a little more. Because, a lot of times when these football games, the intro that they have going on, it's all the hype and everything. This guy seems like he wants to be calm and collective and ready to go and stay focused and at it. One thing I really liked about what Wallace said is he didn't really take a lot of credit for himself as far as his playmakings, his defensive stops and all this stuff. But, he even said the defensive line's got to play well, where he's talking about the clean defensive front helps him be able to make plays as well. So he seemed like a really cool guy.
Yeah, he was really down to earth. He was a lot of fun to interview. I enjoyed it the whole time. I think that's one reason I like interviewing all these players and different coaches and different people is just to show that, they're just like us. You know what I mean? He comes from a small town. He played in Wayne County on the football team now, of course, that's in Georgia, not in Kentucky. But,
right.
I was looking at I went back and watched a little bit of his senior highlight video and just some of the things I saw, like not coal trucks, but like the trains coming through with coal on them. Things like that. And I was just like, he kind of grew up in a small town just like us. Right. And just when you get to talk to him and you get to know him, the man loves fishing like we do. When he said 90s R&B, like I didn't expect it, but he described himself in 3 words, on the UK football page. He said calm, cool, and collected. That's kind of how he is. Now, when he's going after quarterbacks, he's anything but calm, cool, and collected. He's totally just he wreaks havoc on defense. And I'm really glad to see him stepping up this year and really just he's making a difference on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and I'm happy we got this interview with him. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather here, guys. Because his name, I think, has already been mentioned more than I expected in the 2 games. And I only think it's going to be keep being mentioned on the defensive side. Trevin Wallace is a terror to be reckoned with on the defensive side. Quarterback's going to always know where he's at. That's for sure, picking up on the blitz and try to figure out how to keep him from getting in the backfield.
Well, he's so quick. And like I said, him playing a running back position, I was watching some of those highlights, like I said, on Instagram, and his ability to get into the backfield when he shot those gaps, man. And like he said, the defensive line, when they make a pathway for him, he can get back there and cause trouble. I mean, and that's what he did. He really had some key tackles in that game. That one big sack on McKinney. And, a lot of people, they can say what they want. I know that game was a lot closer than what a lot of people expected it to be. But even when you're not playing your best football and you come out with a win's a win. And it's kind of like he said, they're going to have to get in. They're going to have to watch the game film, find those things, be like, okay, good job there. But then find those things they've messed up on and just build off of that. And we've talked about it. It's going to take the offense a while to really gel. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I really feel like in that game, though, Leary really started connecting with some of the wide receivers.
I do too. I guess we kind of go ahead and give our banner up here while we're kind of going into it as far as week 2 review. Leary, I think, looked a lot better. Offense, I still felt like was out of sync starting out. First half, we looked pitiful. Let's just be honest with us. First half, defense had a few stops. We put them back on deep into their zone on turnovers, I think, a couple of times. Even a punt, put them back in the end zone, and it was like a 3-and-out for them. It's like, hey, this is a chance where we should come back and put some points on the scoreboard, and we failed to do it offensively.
And Maxwell Harrison had that interception. It was a big interception in that game. And a lot of that is caused by that pressure from those linebackers getting into the backfield.
Yeah.
So I'm like you look at the stat line from that game, and you don't feel like there was a lot that happened. But Devin Leary, he threw for 299 yards.
Yeah. 4
touchdowns. He did throw 1 interception. I didn't get to watch a lot of the game. I was having to listen to it on the radio. So it was one of those things where I didn't get to really see us play, but I was trying to, listen to the broadcast team and just tell what was going on. It just seemed like sometimes on offense, we were a little lost.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say it this way. I'll listen to Tom Leach with the Stoop show on Monday, and one thing Stoop said, and I think it kind of holds true here, is the way that they started the game is why people thought that they played so bad. Because, the first half was what we saw most. And EKU, which I said on last week's episode, I think they're going to punch us in the mouth first. I thought they would score first, which they did, and they scored twice before we did. But UK just played so bad at the beginning that the good later on got overlooked because, he even mentioned that they scored in 4 consecutive possessions. So like, wow, I didn't even catch that. Pay attention to scoring 4 in a row. So it's almost the way it started overmasked how well we played after we got it going in the second half. Now, EKU, I actually think is a good team. I think this kind of surprised everyone a little bit on this because EKU played us well last year, and EKU is well coached. We know that, and they're an upcoming team in the I think they're in the USA Ohio Valley.
USA. They used to be in the Ohio Valley. I'm not sure if they moved
to Ohio Valley.
Okay. I was going to say, I know they used to be in the Ohio Valley, but, like you were saying, even Coach Stoops said before the game that this EKU team was a lot better than what that first outing showed. They played against Cincinnati, and it was their first game of the season. Some of these players coming in with the nerves, like we talked about, even the first game of the season. So I hadn't personally got to watch EKU play, but I'm telling you, they got some studs on that team. I feel like they did a pretty good job of stopping the run. Mm-hmm. We still moved the ball. We had 115 rushing yards as a team, but I feel like they did a pretty good job of kind of forcing us to go to the air some.
Oh, yeah.
But I also, a lot of people don't realize that quarterback, McKinney, man, he's a 6th-year senior. He had a couple Power 5 offers to transfer, but he chose to stick it out at EKU. He's broken every passing record there is at EKU. And I was impressed with the running back as well. He's a pretty good back. He did a little bit of everything. I think he was on special teams as well. But I was pretty impressed with their team overall.
Oh, yeah, they played very well. And I think they keyed on Ray Davis early And I think after a while, by the fourth quarter, I think our conditioning just kind of showed up. And one thing I want to allude to is what I said last week, too, was that our offense didn't really play too much in week one. Our defense, I think, scored twice for us. We didn't get to run too many series, I'll say, on offense in week one. And Stoops even talked about how he was afraid of how his conditioning would be on offense. And I think that might have caused a little bit of a laggish start of the first half against EKU as well. Leary, I actually think, made some pretty phenomenal passes. A couple of fades or a long ball over the shoulder pass, just a dump down, basically lobbing it out there. Made a couple good reads on who to throw it to. Some bad early starting off, but I think he kind of calmed down, got in a rhythm, and they looked a lot better moving forward in the second half. Kentucky may be a second half team this year because, that's kind of how we did against Ball State. First half, we didn't look well. After making our corrections, we looked a lot better. But I think against who we play, Akron, this coming week, I think
Akron, yeah.
Akron, same thing. Tomato tomorrow. But, yeah.
Did you just say tomato tomorrow?
Yes, I did.
I think it's tomato, but okay.
Tomato tomorrow.
I won't blame it on you not feeling well. We'll just
Mark, it's going to be a little bit harder bringing up our player of the game, our concrete player of the game. Excuse me. But do you kind of want to maybe I'm assuming you have some of the stats. You want to read down some of the stats from the players, and then we'll just mention
listening to the game, I just felt like the SNL concrete player of the game had to go to Tavion Robinson. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, yeah, but why didn't you give that to Devin Leary with his 4 TDs? But I feel like the connections with Tavion really, really set us up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I feel like that really got us going. He had 6 receptions for 136 yards, averaged 22.7 yards per catch, had 2 touchdowns through the air. Young man, he just – they say have a day, young man. He did. He went out and he had a day. So I felt like he deserved player of the game in that one because he really got things going. It's probably – I don't know that that's his – he's had a game similar to that, but I don't know if his yardage was that high or maybe a little higher. I'm not sure. But it was one of those it was a good day for Tavion.
Yeah, because his 2 touchdowns that he scored were pretty much back-to-back possessions that actually got us that got us points on the board. I think there were crucial timing on that. And one of those was kind of the fade route that Leary hit him on I want to say maybe a 13-yard pass or so. And it was a good pass, good catch on that. Got it looking up here. Just, again, 6 receptions for 136 yards, 22.7 average. And his longest was 56 yards. I think the timing is what helped the most for him on this, being the solid player of the game, because we were at a crucial moment there where it was kind of neck and neck. Are we going to actually be able to answer back? And Tavion was the go-to guy on this. So I was agreeant with you on this pick, and just want to give a shout out to Jason Hill, who is the owner of SNL Concrete. His phone number is 273-1144. He's been in concrete, I think it was for 20 years now. He is licensed, and he is covering Eastern Kentucky and parts of Western Virginia and East Tennessee as well.
Yeah, if you need any kind of concrete work, I mean, they do sidewalks, driveways, garage floors, patios. They do all kinds of stuff. So be sure to reach out to them. We appreciate them sponsoring our player of the week. So
yes, sir.
Mr. Robinson, I felt like was very, very deserving of that award this week.
Yes, sir. Mark, you want to go over the games from last week and see how well we're doing on week 1?
I don't think I did so hot this past week. I think I missed several.
Let's see here.
But we can do that. We can recap. You can make me look bad.
I want to.
You go for it.
Well, I'm looking here. Our week 2 predictions from the Kentucky EKU game.
Well, I know the scores weren't even close.
No, I said 41.
We were all like 40-something to 10, 40-something to 14.
Yeah, and Johnny put in that he was 52-13. So we were way off on that. Let's see here. I guess I don't have that brought up. Give me a second. I'll have to bring up a link here to find the scores.
I know one that we all missed.
Yes, that would probably be the Bama game.
Yeah, the Bama game. But I'm telling you what, Texas came to play.
They sure did. They looked good.
They really did. And to go into Alabama, you don't see Alabama fans looking dejected a lot during the game in a year's time. But I'm telling you what, especially at home, I think that's what got me. And you have Texas that's going to be moving over to the SEC now.
Yeah.
So it just was one of those games. Like, I remember watching that and going, yeah, I think we both picked Bama here. And I was like, man, this isn't going to go well.
No, not at all. But I think I found our website we've been using. Let me click on the share. SEC football. Share. Is it up?
Not yet. I think it's trying to load.
Okay.
There it is.
That don't look good, does that?
Can't really see it from my side. I can tell you any score you want to know. SEC wise.
Well, let's see here.
I know I missed the first one. I picked Vandy to beat Wake Forest, I think.
I picked Wake, so I got that one.
I think I picked Vandy. I don't remember.
Yeah, you picked Vandy. And then the next one.
That's Ball State and Georgia. We both had Georgia.
Yes. Georgia won. Right?
We both had Kentucky.
Yep.
Ole Miss and Tulane. I don't remember who you picked here.
I picked Ole Miss.
That's who I picked.
Okay.
I think I actually picked Texas A&M as well, and Miami came out and played out.
Yes, because I made a whole statement of saying Texas A&M. I'm sorry I didn't choose you last week. I will choose you this week. So we both missed that one. Next one, we both went with Arkansas.
Yep.
Next is Tennessee.
Yep.
And we both picked Bama.
Both picked Bama, and Bama lost to Texas.
Yeah, that still blows my mind. We both picked the Miz.
Yep. The Tigers defeated MTSU.
LSU did win, right?
Yes. Well, they didn't just win. It's 72-10.
Yes. And then Florida.
Florida, McNeese. I'm pretty sure we both have Florida there.
Okay. You picked Mississippi State. I picked Arizona. So you get that one I missed.
Yep.
We both picked South Carolina. And then I picked California over Auburn, and you picked Auburn.
I got Auburn for that one. So I think we both missed the same amount this week.
No, I missed 4. You missed 3. So you
I win this week, actually.
You won, yeah.
I'm actually shocked that I won one this week. Well, let's be honest, though. Some of those games that we thought about, they were close. You look at the which game was it went to overtime? I think it was the Mississippi State and Arizona game went into overtime, 31-24. Then the Auburn-California game was very close, 14-10. So when you got two teams that are fairly evenly matched, it's kind of hard to make that prediction sometimes.
Yeah. What's funny is between the 2 weeks, though, we are tied at 23-5 on our predictions.
That's pretty good percentage.
Doing pretty good. I'm going to have to switch over my page. So let's go ahead and start our week 3. And we'll try to be a little bit quick on this. Let's see here. Week 3. Is that all the games? Not that many games in week 3, are there?
Yeah, there's not as many. I noticed that myself.
Okay. So first we've got, let me put me and you. First game up, we got number 14, LSU against Mississippi State.
I'm going with LSU in that one.
Me too.
Now, I will say this. With it being at Mississippi State, I believe Mississippi State will give them a game, and there is a possibility that Mississippi State could win that one. But I'm going to go with LSU.
I'm going with LSU. The next game is Kansas State, ranked 15th against Missouri.
I'm going K-State.
I'm going Kansas State. All right. And then the next is number 1 Georgia playing against South Carolina.
It's kind of hard to vote against the dogs in that one.
Yes. And then we've got 10 Alabama going to, South Florida.
That's going to be Alabama.
I hate to be South Florida. And then we've got, is that Louisiana Monroe?
Yeah, the University of Louisiana Monroe.
Against Texas A&M.
Going to go Texas A&M. Now, they dropped out of the top 25 after that loss, so going to be interesting to see.
Yeah. Then we got number 11, Tennessee versus Florida in the Swamp.
I believe that one's going to be a closer game than what a lot of people think. Tennessee, they kind of played like similar to how Kentucky played in their game. They started out really slow against that team last week, a team that everybody thought they would just roll over. I think it was Austin Peay who they played. Is that who they played? But I believe Tennessee will beat Florida in the Swamp. I believe Tennessee's overall they're a better team than Florida.
Yeah, I don't know why I really want to pick Florida.
You can, sir. It's your prerogative.
I don't want to, but something is telling me to. I don't know what it is. Might be the gas that I'm got going on. The next game we got Samford versus Auburn. I'm going Auburn.
I got to go Auburn there as well.
I just don't think there's too many games that's really up for debate, really. The next game we got Vandy versus UNLV. I'm going to go UNLV just to not be SEC dominant on this.
I'm going to go Vandy.
Okay.
That way we'll at least have something different.
All right. Then we got Georgia Tech versus number 17, Ole Miss.
I'm going with Ole Miss. Something telling you to go with the Yellow Jackets there?
Yeah.
I gotta go Georgia Tech.
You are?
No, I mean I'm going Ole Miss.
Okay.
I'm going Ole Miss. I'm sorry.
Okay. And then we got BYU against Arkansas on ESPN2.
I got to go with the Hogs there. BYU's 2-0 as well. Don't know a lot about that team this year. You know, generally they have decent teams. They played Sam Houston. They won that one 14-0. They played Southern Utah and won that one 41-16. But I've not seen them play against a team that I actually know. So right. I gotta stick with the Hogs on that one.
And then we're finishing out at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. The Akron versus Kentucky.
Akron, yes.
What's the difference?
Well, one's the right way to say it, one's the wrong way to say it. It's Akron.
It's Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm going Kentucky in that one.
All right, so for next week, the only game that we are different on is the Vandy UNLV. And I think that's the top up. Can you look and see who UNLV's even played?
I did look. They played Michigan last weekend.
How was that?
Michigan beat them 35-7, I do believe it was.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't a total watch. The only other game they played was against Bryant, which I think is the Bryant Bears, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
They won that one 44-14, just like Kentucky in their first week. Defeated Ball State, but they played Michigan last weekend and they lost that one 35-7. They didn't even score until the fourth quarter when it was 35-0. So,
okay. Well,
but let's just be honest. Michigan's the second-ranked team in the country too. Pretty good football team. Yes. I actually heard a crazy scenario about Michigan.
What's that?
Tom Brady actually left Michigan with 1 year of eligibility remaining.
Uh-huh.
They said, could you imagine if he somehow just said, I'm going to come back and play for a year because he's no longer a professional athlete. He retired.
Right.
Legally, he could do that.
Are you
It
serious?
was just a scenario somebody popped up, and I was like, I'd have to look more into that because I don't know. But can you imagine Tom Brady, the publicity, and just the overall like coming back and playing one more season for the Wolverines?
It would be like, what was it, Unnecessary Roughness? The 40-year-old rookie guy.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious with the female soccer player that becomes her kicker. That's a good movie.
Well, this guy, he said that Jim Harbaugh had made some kind of statement like, Tom, we need your help or something. And he said, some people are reading into it like, maybe he's talking about coming and helping with the QBs and QB coach. And he said, but what if he's got that 1 year of eligibility remaining? He came back, he's like saying, come suit up. I was like, I would have to look into just all the legalistic side of it. But I mean,
it would be fun just to have that story, a
40-year-old, 40-something coming back to play another year of college football after he'd retired from the NFL as a Super Bowl champion. Think of the stories you have to tell.
Yeah. That would be a movie right there.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So, Mark,
made you ponder it, didn't I? You're trying to wrap your head around that, aren't you?
Well, I'm thinking NILs. So, beforehand, he couldn't do it because he was a professional, so he was a played athlete. So technically,
Can you imagine how much money he'd make off of NIL?
Yeah,
if he went back for one college season.
Yeah.
I've still been curious to see how NIL totally works. I know that they can get paid to like advertise for companies and things like that, but I think it's a whole lot deeper than that. Like companies can sponsor.
I don't know who pays them, but even like for Trevin Wallace to come on our show, like obviously we don't have any finance to pay him or anything like that, but like the likeness and name recognition somehow helps their ability to earn more money. But how does that really work? Because like who pays them? Like of course, if I was a college athlete, I'd be trying to join any podcast because the more my name's out there, the more money I'm likely to be making off of the NILs later on. So I don't know. Maybe we need to reach out to someone that can explain the NILs to us a little bit.
Well, I actually have. I notice our podcast follows the 15 Club on Instagram. It's the 15 Club, and it's like _NIL. I noticed Trevin had posted some stuff about that, so I clicked it and kind of followed it. I noticed our podcast followed it, so I was just looking at it. It almost looks like they almost have like a membership where you can join, and it helps with the NIL. So I've actually reached out to that page and asked them if they'd like to come on sometime, because I think that's an interesting side of. And they said they would talk to the owners and find out, but I just think that's an interesting side of it that we don't know a lot about.
We don't.
We hear NIL, we hear all this, and I see that they're offering people memberships. But is this like something where somebody pays something weekly and you join this club and you go eat with the family or whatever? Because it looks like they were doing stuff like feeding the families and tailgating and doing stuff like that. So I don't exactly know how it works, and I'm curious. I'm one of those people. I was the kid in class going, why does that work like that? I want to know how it works, and just so I can have a better understanding of it for the college athletes.
Yeah. So it almost sounds like it's a membership. Hey, you join our, I won't say society or institute or whatever, our group, our network, and we will help promote you guys more to try to get you all those deals. I bet you. And that's cool how they doing that. Like, it's almost like a college level agent to get more publicity, publicized. Publicized. That sounds more like it. Maybe we should start us up an NIL agency.
And it actually says, if you go to their website, they have a link there, and it actually says the 15 Club, established in 2022, it's the membership club of Kentucky athletes. And I don't exactly know. That's the thing. I don't know what all it's about. There are different memberships you can get. It says support student athletes and get rewarded. Various membership levels are available for every fan with tons of great perks for being part of our exclusive club. So I don't know if they kind of like with your membership dues, they go out and they reach out to businesses and different things and have them come in and pay. It's just, like I said, it's just an interesting side of it because we've never dealt with it before.
Right. Because, I mean, I think back with Sheboy, like, you know, he almost didn't get any money for the NIL his first year here. Actually, I don't think he did because he was only here to play, was only here as a student, where he was a foreigner, actually. And his last year, his second year, they didn't know if he would be able to earn NILs because he didn't have a green card completed yet. And I thought that was kind of silly that, like, he could play in his hometown as a professional athlete and be paid, but he could only come to our college to get an education, but not receive pay for his play at UK. But I think everything was able to be worked out with that because, I mean, I do think our association that we have with UK are phenomenal when it comes to paperwork and stuff like that. So I think they're able to get through what they needed to, the red tape, if you will. So, yeah, I think the NIL will be great to dive into, to try to understand it more because we want to help these kids get paid. That's for sure.
And I mean, I was just looking, like the most basic one is called the Commonwealth, and it's $25 a month. And that's what it is. It's just like a subscription. It said 90% of the net proceeds will be paid directly to student athletes. So it's almost like you don't have to be an alumni, but it's kind of like an alumni club is what it seems like. But the Commonwealth, it says supporting UK athletes, club membership, access to the 15 club marketplace. You get a 15% discount on all apparel in the club marketplace, exclusive player content, the 15 club decal, the 15 club t-shirt, and 2 tickets to a unique fan experience.
Huh.
Then they have other ones. The Bluegrass is $50 a month, and you get everything in the other package, plus you get a hat, and then you get 2 additional tickets to a unique fan experience. You get 4 tickets. They have the Thoroughbred, which is $100 a month. You get a limited edition signed football. And then you get the 15 club 3/4 zip pullover and everything in the other 2.
Well, how long do you do that? Like, can you just do 1 month of $100 and get that football? But I'm done.
I don't know how that works. The Colonel, you also get a custom jersey if you do $250 a month. Then they have the Champion.
Like what is it? The K Club, I think they have the 1,000.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So it's almost basically like it's a booster to help raise money for them too. Then,
yeah, when you go up to $500 a month, you get a VIP dinner with Kentucky student athletes, and then you can be a team member where you just do a one-time gift, and you get access to the 15 club marketplace. And that's like if you did a one-time gift of whatever. But I just think I think it'd be neat to have them come on here and just let us know like how this works, like what it does for. Because it said 90% of all proceeds go, and I get that they got to keep some because they're the ones organizing all this, reaching out to businesses.
They need a salary. I mean, obviously,
it's. I mean, if you're only doing 10% too, and I mean, it's actually kind of it's a new market. You know what I mean? Because it just was established in 2022 when NIL became a thing. So someone with a business degree has stepped up and they've said, "All right, I found a way where I can make money. I can make my favorite team money, and I can get involved with all these." These players.
It's somebody who's got network connection galore and said, hey, you can pay to be a part of this, and we want to use that to help these kids get paid and make these connections, and I'm going to make some money off of it too.
It's pretty cool because it's opened up a whole new marketplace for people that it's like a new niche market that they can jump into and just, I don't know. It's just interesting to me. And I was going to talk about this with you privately. Like, I just think it'd be neat to bring them on and talk about it. Just to see their side of things.
Yeah.
So I'll let you know how that goes because they said they would contact the owners and get back with me. I'd be interested just to know who the owners are.
Yeah.
Like, who started it? Like, I want to know, how did it come about? What
probably Calipari.
Do what?
It's probably Calipari. Hey, like, let's start this so we can pay some of my players to come. I'm playing, people. Don't hold me to that. But he is business minded. I mean, don't know if that would be illegal if he was the owner or not. But
I don't know. What else we got tonight, Mikey?
Honestly, that's really it.
We didn't really talk about the Kentucky game against Akron coming up.
Akron, yeah.
Like every time you say Akron, all I can think of is an acorn. That's all I can think of.
Akron, not Acorn.
And the only reason I know it's Akron because it's Akron, Ohio. That's where they're from.
Yeah, Akron, Ohio.
Bless your heart. Oh man. So, what are your thoughts on this game?
What are my thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Well, bringing back Matt's comment earlier of prayers for Cohen, who has had a medical issue go on, which we didn't really mention about.
Yeah, our thoughts and prayers are going to be out to him though, because that does kind of change things as you come in.
It does. He actually, I think it's been released. He's been released from the hospital already, I think, and he is planning on coaching this game. But I do think there's going to be a little less stress for him in this. And to me, what that is going to be is let's keep the playbook a little simple. Let's keep it on the ground for a while. Let's conquer the trenches. Let's control the trench, run the ball, and get Larry comfortable back there for a while before he has to make too many decisions. And I think he's doing okay on his decisions, but I think they're going to keep it silly. The only thing that bothered me is we already had to do like some trick plays against EKU to get Barry. I'm sorry, what's his name? Is it Barry
Robinson or Barry Brown?
No, Brown.
Brown?
Yeah. On that reverse to get him some open field and gained a huge amount. I want to say it was like a 28-yard run on it. I'm not for sure, but we're not getting Brown involved enough, in my opinion.
That's the thing. You got to get your playmakers involved.
Yeah. I just don't want to be these trickery teams that we have to play against these non-conference teams. Like, if we're going to be doing reverses now against an EKU, what's it really saying about our offense? You know, it makes me a little weary just a bit. If you're already doing trickery week 2 to just be able to move the chains, something's not really going on unless you're fine with that. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But
sometimes though, if your offense is playing a little lethargic, okay, it's almost like giving you a shot of adrenaline, or or like a little nitro boost. If you can pull off a trick play like that, it can really change your mindset in the game and then get your offense flowing. I don't mind it. I like it when coaches kind of do something a little different here and there. I mean, but it's one of those things, like if you're running it up the gut and it's working, keep running it up the gut. Right. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But if it is broke, you got to fix it. You know what I mean? You can't just be like, oh, I'm just going to keep doing the same thing if it isn't working.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just a little weary. I hope we control the line of scrimmage and can move the ball on the ground. That's what Kentucky's been, our bread and butter is really run game. And it's not looked the best in the past 2 games.
And just get the run game going for Davis, get him in some open space as well, because he can make some things happen with those legs.
And I'd like to see us maybe do a couple screens. I know in the times past when we hated to even see a middle screen with Graham back there, but we've not ran a screen in a while. A perfect screen or a right call time. And I think Cohen can put those plays in to get Brown the ball a little more. He's the guy who I think needs to be getting the solid player of the week in the weeks to come. That speed that he has, we see it on special teams. He was last week's special teams player of the week.
Yeah, he had a punt return for touchdown last week.
Yeah, but we're not seeing him on the offensive side, and we need to get him involved more. Like he's a Samuel. So that's what I hope we can see, a controlled pace with some scores early in the first quarter.
I think, I looked at the team. They scored 21 points in their first week, but lost 24-21 to Temple. Then they played Morgan State the next week, and they scored 24 points again and won that game. Mm-hmm. So it's a team that can put points on the board, but, I mean, I don't think those teams have the caliber defense that Temple has. Or I'm saying I don't think Temple nor Morgan State have the defense that Kentucky has and is capable of bringing in a game-to-game basis. Now, with that being said, that means our defense is going to have to step up and make a stand early. Our offense is going to have to put points on the board early to get things flowing. Because I think if we come out and we do a 3-and-out, we start off slow again. It's a tell of 2 halves. You know what I mean? That's kind of like what the game was last week. Yep. You got to put 4 quarters of good football together.
Yeah, because it's going to catch up to us very soon.
Especially when you start hitting that SEC schedule.
Yeah.
One bad quarter can change the whole trajectory of a game.
Yes.
One bad play can change the whole trajectory of a game.
One bad series is about to come up to where it changes completely everything.
Football is one of those sports, man. It's all about momentum.
Yep.
When things are going right, they're going great. When things are going wrong, they can get bad in a hurry.
So that's my only thing that I'm worried about is Kentucky seems to be not so mindful of taking care of each possession or each series of downs to make them meaningful yet. That's one thing I'm worried about. Like once it's 1st and 10, we need to already be thinking we've got to get that to keep this drive moving. And some of the play decisions, I won't say calls, but the decisions or the runs, executions, I feel like we're almost trying to make every play be a home run, and it's causing us not to gain the yards that we need to gain.
We need to stay out of 3rd and long situations. That's the key. You got to stay out of those 3rd and long because to me, when you get yourself in 3rd and long situations, I mean, it happens from time to time. But I'm saying if you're doing it continuously, you're putting so much pressure on your quarterback at that point.
Yes, and that's when errors happen.
Yep, I agree. Well, it's been a fun show. It was great getting to interview Trevin Wallace. Had a fun time with that.
Yes. What's their prediction score for the Kentucky-Akron game?
Oh, let's see. I mean, I got Kentucky winning, but man, you want to score. I don't think
I'm going 42-18.
I don't think Akron has a. I mean, I was looking at their quarterback. He's thrown for like maybe 2 TDs this year, and like in the running game's not the best. Their leading rusher has 67 yards. I'm thinking, man, I hate predicting scores. I want to say 56-24.
Oh, wow.
And I could be completely wrong. I'm just saying they score. Say 56-21. 21. Change that 4 to a 1. Yeah,
21 or 20. All right.
Because I do believe Akron will probably try some trick plays and they could get a score here and there.
Yeah.
And I could be totally wrong. It could end up being like a 44-7, something like that. But I'm just saying, based on their first 2 games, it looks like they try to mix things up and get some points on the board somehow. So,
right. I'm with you. I'm going 42-18. I think Kentucky scores first this time because I think Stoops going to yell it, put a pretty much emphasize on being relevant from the start and let's score, get that momentum from the beginning. Because if they don't, I mean, 2 games of 24 points, I mean, it looks like Akron can actually put some points up on the team. So, I mean, I'm with you on the defense of being different. But Kentucky, sometimes we play to the caliber of what we're playing against, and that could really come back to bite us very soon.
And, I mean, all it takes is 1 missed tackle to put points on the board. So that's why I'm saying it's not saying if your defense is holding numerous times and they break free and get a touchdown, you can't really say you play bad defense. You've got 1 missed tackle.
Yep.
I've seen games change just by 3 missed tackles, and you lose by 21 points. Looks like you were blown out. You did really good on defense every other possession, but those 3 possessions hurt you. And it's just like 3 plays, 3 missed tackles, and it can change it.
Sorry, I was watching myself cough on the TV there. That was a big one. Mark, I'm getting hoarse. I'm getting congested again. I'm ready to hop off of here. Where can everyone find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter or X at mlawson15. I'm on Instagram at Big Daddy Lawson. I'm on Facebook just under Mark Lawson. I mean, you can reach out to me on any of those.
Of course, you can find us at the Linktree hashtag Cats Chat Pod. It has all social media links, pretty much Cats Chat Pod on anything. We'll pull it up. Please go follow us, like, subscribe, that whole 9 yards with that. Of course, at the bottom of the ticker, scrolling across now, we'll say that we are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, I think, as well. So this will be up in a couple of days as well. Please go subscribe, give us a 5-star rating. We do appreciate that. Please help us out on YouTube. We need you guys to go and follow us on YouTube. Subscribe desperately. Our views are not so hot on there. That's fine because we really have focused more on Facebook, and that's really okay too. but we like to get our YouTube views up as well. So we'd appreciate all the subscriptions that you all could follow us up on YouTube as well.
We want to be able to keep bringing you content and bringing you interviews with players. Like if you got some players you'd like us to reach out to, let us know about it. We'll try to reach out to them and see what we can do.
I personally, and I know Mark is with us too, we'd like to get you guys maybe to holler at us and maybe you want to be a guest at a certain time where we can bring you in and let you guys talk with us some too. This is a fan-friendly podcast. Like we want you guys
barbershop sports, man. We're just talking about it.
Yes, sir. Right by the water cooler. But I believe that's it for now. You can find me MD Lawson00 pretty much on any social media platform as well. But with that being said, I think that is time for us to sign on off. As always, guys, number 1, love God. Number 2, love others. And number 3, love Kentucky sports.
God bless.